Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. The agenda. Motion to approve. Motion to approve the agenda, is there a second? Second. Motion been made, second to approve the agenda, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Minutes. Motion to approve the minutes. Second. Second. Been made second to accept the minutes. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carried. Visitors.
I'm representing the Cando Condo Association owners. We're requesting permission for a project that they're wanting to do. Most of the owners and tenants are elderly. In the winter, we have buildup of ice on both of our sidewalk corners for them going around to their garages. So we kind of have concern of one of them falling and, having an accident. So our property line ends at 4 feet past our gutters, which is just barely past our sidewalks. So we're requesting to go an extra 2 feet, so 6 feet on each end of the gutters, so that we can go past the sidewalk so it doesn't build up or come back. So they're wanting to propose to come out in the air right off the soffit, straight out, and they'll have that supported, so it just drops them to the ground. So I have brought kind of an idea of, I'm not an artist, but an idea of just coming off of the soffits, and we took photos. I can pass these around. This is kind of what it looks like at this point. There's both the ends here. So we'd want to just come out on each end 6 feet from that edge. There's both of these, and this kind of shows you different ones. I don't know if you want to pass those around or not, to give you an idea. And if possible, we'd like to have, the answer by next week so we can get someone out there to start before it gets, I don't know how long it takes, but so we can get someone out there to start working on it before we get any snow and all of that stuff.
Have you looked at this, Derek, or do you know anything about it?
Nope, better.
The only thing you're doing here is you're kind of, the ordinance says you can't go, 5 feet past your protruding tripod, correct? You're gonna go on to.
It would be 2 feet in the air
Yeah.
above,
but
so.
It's city land. It's right next to the fire hall.
Yeah.
So it's in between, there's nothing in between there, but that would be the question, so that's why she said I need to come.
It's gonna have to be variance.
Yeah,
So it needs to do what?
it'd be a variance.
They have to make variance.
Yeah,
So what's the process for that, and is there a cost for that, and
it takes some time. That's one of the bad things about it.
And then you set a precedence. After that. That's the best.
You're just talking to one side here, is that what?
it's on both ends, you almost have to see the pictures, he's passing it down. The sidewalk,
But you're on either the east side or the west side, correct?
it's going to be on,
East and north.
it's gonna just be on the east ends, going straight off. The other ones are just, no one walks over there, there's not a sidewalk.
You go to east
So
side
when
or
they
west.
built it, they should have done something either underneath the sidewalk or done something, but it comes right down on the corners. And if you put a gutter there, then they're gonna trip over the gutter. Then you're still gonna have ice build up. So that was the only thing at the meeting. They were like, what can we do to, if we just do the 4 feet, it's gonna drop 2 feet on the other side of the sidewalk.
Are you gonna pour more cement?
They're not gonna, no, they're just gonna have it come out. So it's just gonna be like,
Over.
and it's gonna be in the air, just coming straight out. 6 feet, so it just drops into the grass. So it keeps it out away from the building, from building it.
Who's responsibility to start washing holes if we get rain in summer?
Well, what they thought about doing is just putting like a cement brick, the flat ones, so it hits that. Or have a thing at the top, so it just kind of sprays it, so there isn't a hole in the grass. And the lady that mows it now goes way above and beyond our property line, which leaves less mowing for the fire hall. She probably goes out, and that's where we didn't know our property line was anyway, because she probably goes, I don't know, 6 feet, 7, 8 feet out from the building.
So this is from the condos itself, that rough of their condo.
This is the garage.
Oh, just a garage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of where he like the picture of him on the ground, that's where it would drop. He measured 6 feet out from the building. So it's the garages. They come out of the building to the sidewalk, and then they go to their garages, and to get around to the garbage, to get around to their, to the outside of the garages, they have to go.
That gutter would be hanging on in the air or
Well, it'd be 6 feet.
6
So they're
feet.
wanting to put like a,
The wind might.
they're wanting to put a,
You might have to support that.
yes,
The
they're
wind
gonna
would
do a
get that
support
around,
on it.
twist
Trying to think what they called it.
Jason and Jessica just did the exact same thing over at that duplex on the northeast end of town. Made
Okay,
it, put a 4x4 post that came out and was supported by that, but
okay.
that was on their own property too. They-
Okay, and see, we thought about the post, but then it's something on the ground, then someone has to mow around it, someone has to weed whack around it, someone might trip on it, so if it's in the air, it's gonna be way up high enough so people can go underneath it, mow underneath it. So it won't be,
Nobody could jump up and grab it, could they? Or how low is
I mean, I
it?
suppose they could out of any gutter,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, it's probably
That's true.
8-foot sidewalls.
Yeah.
just be if someone wanted to do that, but yeah.
See,
Yeah, definitely. But, the only thing would be to have that supported to the wind. I know the wind would whip through there and twist it,
I think they were gonna use an angle iron is what they were
Oh,
gonna support it
yeah.
with, right out of the
They'd have to
get-go.
have something like
Yeah.
that.
They were gonna do it, make it so it's heavy duty so it didn't blow off.
Since they're not putting anything on the ground, would they even need a permit? I mean, it's just adding.
Well, they're going over the property lines.
So you have to have variance for this.
Yeah,
They're over 5 feet, so, yeah, they
Yeah.
need a permit, and we'd have to give them a variance to do it. That's legally they can't.
So I think the property line is 4 feet from the building and then we'd need to, but they're it'd be better if it was 2 feet further. We could do it at 4, but I don't know.
Is that stuff considered commercial?
I don't
That's
think
zone
it,
commercial there?
I don't think it is.
If it's zone commercial, you can go right to property line.
Well, we can do the property line, but it's gonna be so close. That's why I'm coming in. It's so close to the sidewalk that it's gonna roll right back onto the sidewalk.
Well, I doubt that'd be commercial.
I think it's,
That's, we have to check into it. I'm just thinking as far as that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're residential, you have to be 5 feet from over it, from
Yeah.
property lines.
So she would just have to fill out a request. For
I-
the building permit and get a variance, apply for a variance or whatever.
yeah. Well, we can measure it on exactly where the property line's at.
I know someone was putting an air conditioner in. That's the only reason I knew it was 4 feet from the building and, like those outside air conditioner, I said, you cannot go any farther than 4 feet from that building. So they brought that up at the meeting when we talked about the gutters. So how much would something like that cost if they, we got that permit and went through with that?
it's like $30. Basically, that $30 covers him from marking the lot lines. But then we'd end up back here requesting a variance if that's,
And that'd be in 2 weeks, I think.
are you, like, maybe I'm out of line, but can this be her request for variance?
What?
Can this be her request for variance? Like, the technicality is a building permit and a $30 fee. I know where she's at.
So
I have a map here. Where is there one nearest?
At my office. I can go get one if you guys want.
But no matter what, they want to go past, whether it's commercial or
Right.
residential. so
That part doesn't matter.
That's the sidewalk, is it flush with the grass pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, we can, I don't know where the pictures are now,
I was gonna say, you could
but yeah,
you could
it's,
cut a slot in the sidewalk and put a grate across there so the water ran out, but.
yeah, it's on both, you know, the gutter comes
Oh,
off
yeah.
right here and it goes, and it comes right here, so it's
Yeah.
on this corner.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
So I mean, they just fight keeping the ice off, so it's like right here. You're familiar with that building, I think. Did you help build it?
6 feet's a long ways. 6 feet's a long ways for that gutter. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be pretty well supported.
So I think he
Well, I know
pointed
what
right
rooms do
here.
that.
I know he put it, what he's wanting to do, it's gonna be the gutter coming out, but when he talked to the lumberyard, they said you can't use a gutter, you're probably gonna wanna use a downspout, so no weeds get in, it stays solid. And it's gonna be heavier duty than the gutter. So I mean, it's gonna be considered the gutter, but it's gonna be more of a downspout that's gonna come off as the gutter.
And there's two kinds of downspout, one that's just a light piece of junk, and then there is a metal one.
Yeah, we have to do a heavy duty one after this. So this is like right where he's pointing here is where the 6 foot
Right.
measuring tape is, right here. You can see the difference, you know, the separation between the two buildings, the garage and the firehouse.
But we should have Jerry maybe that's so we know exactly where the lot line is at.
I can-
I was just gonna say, if you could have that. for-
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Just figure out where the plot is and how far out, kind of get us an idea where we're looking at there.
Yeah, I just need, to, you know, which lots and
I can get that.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, you got Brad on there.
I'm wondering if we can jump to the building permits. Derek has somewhere else he needs to.
Oh, yeah,
Is that
no problem.
okay?
He got, man.
So, none of these are really new to you guys, so the legacy one is in there. And I think everybody is understanding what legacy wants to do. Yeah, the rest are in there for you to look at.
What's he doing? Just, Ron just doing, just like mark the property lines, is that what that was?
Yeah, I think it was a
yeah, took out a
disagreement.
hedge, you wanted to make sure you knew where the property line was, so. That was that.
They should have what's he.
this house.
No. That's all. Where you? Thanks. Thanks. All these have been checked, I guess. Anybody have any questions on it? I think you're good to go. All right.
Did you want to talk about that one?
Oh. Yeah.
Well, there's one that's not in your packet because it hasn't been approved. The house that Deb Zickman used to live in, it's the one right by Dirk Peterson.
On the gray one.
Yep, the gray one. When we pull up the information, it doesn't line up. There's structures and stuff.
It's, there's lot 16, 17, north half of 18. When I measured it out, that brick house to the south was about 5 or 10 feet over. And then their house to the north was about 2 feet over. So. It's, I mean, that's the most current information we have on it is, those 2.5 lots, and there was nothing new at the courthouse. I'll go measure it again tomorrow, but.
Where's that one at?
Right by
The Bell House,
Betty Vester's old one.
but yeah, that's for some house.
Mr.
Yeah, it's north of the park.
Yeah.
I will go measure it again and see where it comes out.
Did you by chance get the alley marked for Walters?
Yeah,
How far back, how bad is that one?
all that stuff's on the city.
You know where the fences are?
Around the property line?
The fences are all.
Fences on.
On the east line,
All those vehicles are sitting on the city.
even that propane tank is on us.
It's not like they need to get.
I told you on the call and
We'll get some letters stamped.
Howard.
Mhm.
Yeah, they can do, they can, that's where they can drive back.
Or last
See the
time.
one, then go down this, to the,
That's
north end, and he had a mark between, Westlands and, Dippy Noise, and then he's got one at Westlands. And then he's got the west edge marked in a couple spots.
So I have letters ready to mail to all the property owners on that side, that just informing them that the alley has been marked, and please remove any personal property that is in the alley. I visited with the sheriff's office, kind of asked a few questions as far as the, how do we go about this? And he thought a polite request the first time around is probably the way to go. Give them, I don't know, 30 days or so. And
I'd
then,
give them a couple of weeks, it's plenty.
and then if nobody, well, with the mail though, I mean,
That they'd have to call the company.
yeah, and then if they're not complying, then we can deal with that, to see if we want to like push those ordinances. I don't really like to push those ordinances too much because there's a lot of gray area in our ordinances. And I don't really think we want to.
Having stuff on our property isn't a great area.
No, that's not, but I didn't want to like say do this or else like this first time, like.
Yeah.
So it's a polite.
No,
That's one.
You just tell them, that it's marked now, we gotta move.
Yeah.
It's gotta be moved off the city property.
What I haven't done is contacted the property owners on the other side for their trees and whatever. At least from what I can eyeball, most of those property owners, the alley is actually getting on their land. Not the opposite way. So I did not draft a letter to those guys. Do you want me to, just letting them know that it's been marked, or do you think we should just start with the ones on the east side?
What's the limbs are hanging over, is that what you're saying?
Some are.
That's Scott's department to cut them down.
Some are. I thought once we get the stuff out of there, then our guys can get through and.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to send letters to that, they can just
Right.
wanna whack it off.
Because Alan even said that for his, he would, if he had to. trim
Yeah,
it.
no, city trims them, so. That shouldn't have to send to the west side.
But if this is the alleyway here, so this is where the alley, the alley driveway is getting shoved to the west. We're approaching on that.
Yeah.
On the edge.
So I have,
West people.
yeah, I have them ready to mail. They'll go out tomorrow if you guys are okay with that.
Do it.
Okay.
So this other one, go back to that first one, now you're not all, because houses aren't where they're supposed to be, is somebody trying to do something there, or is that?
Well, they just want to put up a fence for the dog.
Okay.
I think it's that.
Fence and a deck and,
Well, they got a porch, they just want to put a ramp on it, on their
Okay.
thing, and then put a ramp on their deck and then putting a fence up for their dog.
Is that up the district of the house?
Do they have room for that? All that stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Right off
Yeah, 17 there.
it's
Down
off,
the way,
yeah.
off down south of 17.
Yeah, it's just north of the park. Kitty
Oh,
corner.
Between,
The old Hagenberg house, brick.
Yeah. I would The name didn't ring bells.
Just got purchased. It just got purchased.
It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
right south of Dirk's.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, between Dirk and Brick House.
Yeah.
I'll go check it again.
Evergreens in there.
So what happens if you check it again and like all these houses are not on the lines?
You just keep them all shut.
Like you push everybody else like a little bit
Yes.
more to
There's
make
a
it
lot of
fair.
stuff in this town this way.
At that
Yeah.
point, I think, if somebody wants something, they gotta go get a surveyor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So what happens, they say, okay, the people that bought that great house have a survey done and they realize that house is 5 feet on their property.
It's out of our hands.
Most of it's grandfathered in. I mean,
Yeah,
it's stuff that happened so long ago. I mean, if you took it to court,
there isn't much you can do.
you're not gonna tear a guy's house off.
Yeah. Well, that's what I assumed, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just.
I guess my recommendation is that if they're happy where it's at sitting right now and they got the room to do this stuff, just give them the permit, let them do it.
Okay.
Well, go mark some marks out there and give them a little bit of guidelines of where to put their fence, so.
Are there any, Northern Plains poles in the alley right back there at all? They're usually really accurate,
They're on the, side.
Yeah,
They're
they're,
on the west side of the alley.
but it'd be close. I mean, if it's on the west side of the alley.
Yeah, going east and west, it's no issue, it's just going north and south.
Yeah.
That kind of a little surprised.
Have you tried, you've gone both ways?
No, I'm gonna come from 17 tomorrow night, so.
Otherwise you come from 10.
You come from.
Yeah, I come up from 10th, so it could be 10th Avenue.
Yeah.
That's very possible too.
So,
We've run into this before.
yeah, so I'll try it from 17 and that's a little harder to measure from with the
Yeah.
traffic, but
Yeah.
we were good at Frogger.
Yeah.
If,
Duck and dodge, duck and dodge.
if you do that and it's fine, I mean, are you gonna approve it?
Yeah.
Can I approve it contingent on your measuring? That way we don't delay them another 2 weeks, I
Oh,
guess is what I'm asking.
There's nobody on either side, right? There's somebody left out of that big house on the north side of that Eggenberg house. On the north side, there's that big house. Does anybody live there?
that's.
There is a big house.
That's the one they want to put fence and build a ramp on.
talking about the Eggenberg house.
No, the one north of,
The big
Oh,
gray one,
okay.
it's a big gray one.
Okay, got you. Yeah. So it's next to Dirk's.
yeah,
land.
right, it's right between Dirk and.
Good.
But I would say, yeah, but if it measures out, looks okay, I just approve it. We'll acknowledge the permits. It's good.
Yeah, I saw it.
Thanks.
Pretty cheap.
I'm not.
Need a lot.
I don't think they're gonna work on it anytime soon. They might put their dog thing up, but, okay.
Yep, everything started.
Thanks, Derek.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, Brad, I,
Who's here, Brad? Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right, we've got an agenda here for you guys. We'll just be working through that. Really, it's the sewer clean and televise solicitation documents that we're gonna send out tomorrow. And just wanted to go through those with you guys and make sure that you're comfortable with everything that we have in there. So if you go to the next page, so that'll be the letter that we send out to all the contractors that'll be doing the work and submitting a quote. And basically we'll give them a little over a week to submit their quotes, have those back by September 30th. And then that way we'll have results for you guys at your October 4th meeting. So then if you go to the next page, this is call it the bid schedule. So it's essentially the work that they'll be doing. There's cleaning of 8-inch, 10-inch, 18-inch diameter pipe, and then doing the televising of those pipes. There's a few protruding laterals that they'll need to cut out so they can do the cleaning and the televising. And then there's one stretch that, it's cast iron pipe. And I've got a picture of it at the end of the packet, but, it'd be good to clean that one, because I don't know if they cleaned it back in 2016, and it's starting to corrode, pretty well on the inside of that, but. The big one on this page, I'd like to go through these notes with you at the bottom of this one. And so, we'll tell the contractor that, they can use water from the city. There won't be any payment for the water unless you guys want them, to pay you guys for that water. We'll have them meter or keep track of the water that they use. Are you guys comfortable with just using the water then?
Pat,
Okay.
can I get you to add one more deal? We found out on Fifth Avenue from MH4 to MH4A is clay tile. That's
Okay, so from
above
4 to
where that
4A.
18-inch starts diagonally. We're gonna have to get that televised too, I think. If we're gonna keep it, we're gonna have to make sure that one's good. Because I think the last time you figured it was plastic.
Yeah, right. We weren't sure, and it wasn't done last time. Okay, so 4 to 4A then.
Yes.
Okay, add that one. That's looks like an 8-inch.
Well,
Okay,
Brad, with a what here?
yeah, so we'll go through the rest of these notes, and then we'll go through the the locations that we've got included right now, and then if there's other ones you guys want to add. So the waste, when they do the cleaning, there'll be some liquid waste. They can dispose of that at the lagoon. And then there'll be a little bit of solid waste. Essentially, it's just like clean rock, and I just thought they could maybe take that out to the landfill, unless you guys have a better place for that. We've got, city will provide manhole locations. I think they're all, basically in the street, so they're, or the alleyway, so they're easy to find. No issues there. And then I identified the existing cast iron pipe location, so they know where that's at. We mentioned that, last time, I guess, yeah, the clay sewer mains were cleaned and televised were the fall of 2016. Gives them an idea of, how dirty these lines are. Just talk about, you guys are contract directly with them, and you guys meet on the first and third Tuesday of the month as far as, payments. And then we're gonna give them November 18th for the completion date. Depending on the weather, you can't really go too much further beyond that date with the temperatures, but the other thing I was gonna ask is, do you guys have a heated shop if they needed to store their trucks overnight?
No, they don't fit.
I'm sorry, what was that, Raleigh?
They don't fit. Our
They don't
doors
fit?
are full.
Okay. I guess if they ask, I'll let them know that, currently no.
In the past, yeah, once before, I know they put them in the county shop for the night.
Okay,
And they're usually pretty easy to work with.
If
Sure.
we know approximately when, we can arrange that through the offices.
okay. Well, keep that in mind then, that the county might be an option. And then I'll get a contact info from you, Amanda.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so next we'll go to the locations of the work. So the first location is what we talked about at the last meeting. That would be from manhole 4 to manhole 3. That's an existing clay 18-inch pipe. And I watched that video again today. There is one lateral that's protruding into that one. It didn't prevent them from getting the entire stretch last time, but they might as well cut it out this time. So
What kind of shape was that in?
In fair shape. It's got cracking at the joints, no broken pipes or missing pipe or anything like that, but yeah, I would call it fair. Okay, we'll go to the next one then that would be from manhole 94 to 93. So that's crossing the tracks on Main. That's a 10-inch clay pipe. No protruding laterals on that one, so they should just be able to clean and televise that one. Next is up by the alley by the school. So this one is existing clay. Back in 2016, these two blocks here, they were only able to get about half of them cameraed because there were protruding laterals and they couldn't get past them. And so I've got 4 that they'll cut out so they can get the rest of that televising. Okay, and then for the next one, this is over on 4th Avenue and 2nd Street, basically that intersection. The sewer main does a little jog, and I think it actually jogs over to the west and then goes up. But this one's existing cast iron pipe. And if you go to the final sheet in your packet, you'll see a picture from that televising back in 2016. It's corroding, and the invert of the pipe is really getting necked, squeezed down, and so we'll see if they can clean it, if they can make it better. But if not, this might be a good one to include with the project, just to replace this short piece here. It's only about 16 feet, but it's a cast iron pipe. And so those are the locations. I'll add in 4 to 4A as well. Are there any other locations that you guys are aware of? I did talk to Scott this afternoon, and there wasn't anything else he could think of.
From Yankees, great song.
That little chunk right
Would stop to the right
This
north.
runs north and then turn around and come back this.
The apartments are right on the south side. That's your street.
Streets. Outside of the school there. This is right by. Steve Deals, yeah.
Yeah, right, that's still.
They're gonna check this,
That's just by.
I
think you got
I mean, this manhole, so stuff flows around there.
last house here.
Did you guys ever do anything?
No.
You did something to this. You cut it out.
No, I just wonder if it's more, why is it not?
I know there's some new stuff down here.
This is. This way.
Come down the street and tie on.
This stuff
So if we change this direction, tore all this stuff up.
on each side, about
20
20 feet.
This way and then come across.
Yeah.
And this would only around 400.
Anybody have anything else to know of? Or? Yep. Sounds like that'd be it, Brad, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'll update this and I'll send you guys the updated documents tomorrow, but we'll get these sent out tomorrow and go through the quotes that we get back with you at your next meeting. So, all right, well, that's all I had for you guys tonight.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Yep, thank you.
City Hall shelving.
So the first estimate I had was Uline. I found a similar-ish shelf for half price, and I feel like this would suit our needs. I'm asking for 2 6-foot shelving units.
So city of Cando doesn't buy in the city of Cando.
These are not available. I checked the lumberyard and Jesse Knudsen first.
Exact same thing from the hardware store at the farm shop.
She said that their distributors have changed.
Must be
How long ago did you buy them?
2 years maybe.
Yeah. It's changed since then. They said, Jesse actually suggested. So, these are the same ones that I have in my basement, and they are quite sturdy. I wanted metal shelving instead of wood, but I really think this will get the job done just fine.
But I actually had people comment to me on, was there anything going on the curbs? And they had Menards buckets that didn't go over very well either.
Mhm.
Menards paint buckets or 5-gallon buckets or something. Yeah, that doesn't go over very well. A lot of city people.
I usually go bug Troy or Jesse before I do anything else, and the same with the lumberyard.
Yeah, we'll need a motion.
Move it. That little bit?
Hmm.
That little bit? Really?
Yeah. Perfect.
Make a motion, allow them to buy these then.
Motion to buy the shelves, second.
Second.
Motion made and second to purchase the shelves. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Since I'm going to Grand Forks for conference in a day anyway, if they will fit in my vehicle, I will go pick them up. Otherwise, we'll have to combine it with a different trip.
They're just gonna walk.
Bringing out. Yeah, the seats folded out. They should.
With no kids, they should fit.
You did.
He's babysitting. I'm skipping town.
City Hall building needs, what do we got there?
Okay, so I don't have documentation for this, but there's been just a few things that I've been thinking about, and since we don't have a building committee, I guess we bring it here. So I need to know what the long-term plan is if we're going to attempt to stay in that building, and if we are, then I am going to politely request yet again for a building committee. If we're not going to stay in that building, I'm again going to request for a building committee to talk about the future needs of the city office. We need to talk about heating, cooling, lighting, roofing, electrical, flooring, handicapped accessibility. We did just put new carpeting on the steps. We replaced what was there, but in my opinion, that is not what should be done. There should be a new entrance with a ramp and handicapped accessible. What's
You
under,
can't use that back door.
well, it's a
Or-
safety issue. I
That's
mean,
what-
it's a safety issue. If I'm the only one in there and I can't see or hear the door, I am absolutely not comfortable with that.
Maybe they can put a doorbell on there in your office or something.
Is city,
Nobody ever else have any trouble with it. I don't know what the problem now is.
if the future of the city is that that's going to be our city hall, we shouldn't ask somebody in a wheelchair to go through the back door when the library is closed most of the time and the lights are out. We just need to talk about what do you guys want from that building? And because I'm in it all day, every day, I'm going to politely request that this get pushed at some point to a priority. It is the face of our town and it is embarrassing.
We consider doing the West building again, talking to
She would charge us rent.
how much rent,
I have no idea. I didn't ask her.
because like I said, that old office that Megan was in is empty, and that's plenty big for,
But then that's not City Hall. You know, we need to talk about if we want a City Hall or if we just want an office. And it's probably not a conversation for just tonight, but it needs to happen at some point. And if, regardless of what we do, we're gonna have to budget something. So the budget for next year is already shot to shit. So let's talk about 2023. If we're going to apply for any type of grants, that's a 2 to 3 year wait time. If you're looking at different types of property, now would be the time to look. If you're looking into the future, if you're wanting electrical and roofing and flooring and whatever, you're still looking at 2 to 3 years away. So if we don't talk about it until another 5 years from now,
they say we move out of the city hall that we're in now, okay, we still own that building, we're still gonna have all
Yep.
that keep on it. No matter.
yep. There's a lot of lighting issues in that building. Regardless, that need to get addressed if it's gonna be utilized by tenants.
I don't know, I guess I wouldn't call them tenants, they're not paying us rent. So
Right.
they should be fixing. I mean, for the rent, they should fix it themselves. I don't think the city needs to be spending money on that kind of stuff for them.
But it is the face of our town. And it is, I mean, when people move to town, they are in there and it is incredibly inadequate for what the future of Cando should be presenting. But if we're just looking for an office space, that's a whole different conversation. So
As far as for us, that's all we need is an office. And
so what happens to the building? It's still our building.
what's wrong with the roof now?
I'm just saying at some point, the 100-year-old building is gonna need some significant work. I don't know what's wrong with the roof. I'm not a maintenance guy.
I've been up there lots of times and it's been a while since they did it. They tarred it in the 90s.
Never got that gray.
And then-
on
And then, I put a quote of that aluminization on it.
it. Yeah, that's what you see now.
Pardon?
That's what you see now is that gray stuff.
Yeah, and then there was one bad spot over where the Record Herald kept all their old papers and their files back in that room. That, the roof went real bad right there. And that's been repaired, so
The leaking is
I
still
don't think it's too bad.
the evidence is still there. It's stained all of the wall and the tiles, not just upstairs, but on the first floor. So when you walk in the library and you go to the bathroom, you see a nasty, ugly brown stain.
Get some paint.
I am just the one that writes the checks.
Are there grant monies available for like?
I'm sure there maybe would be, but we have to talk about,
Would that be considered a historic building?
it's not on the registry right now. It's not on their radar right now. But you start digging for grants. It might red flag something.
Get a fundraiser going.
I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's gonna be, and then the entrance, what I think is a subpar entrance, it really leaks a lot with all that glass. My opinion, it should not be a full glass front. It's just my opinion though, but that would be something that would probably save us money if we changed up the entrance. But you have to invest money to save money.
You gotta look at what it costs to do it too.
Yep.
Savings.
That's the thing we're short of.
We are, but I mean. So I'm asking for a committee. This isn't something that's gonna be a one-time conversation. It's probably a committee that could meet quarterly maybe to figure out a plan. And maybe in 3 years, we would have a plan.
Well, if you had a building committee, almost it might be a good idea because then you could include all city buildings on that. You could look at maintenance on them all. You could look at what repairs are needed each quarter, like you could, say the fire hall, the Audi, city hall, all that stuff could be managed by that building committee to, just kind of look at,
Well,
possible
I'm
repairs.
glad you're saying all that, because you just talked yourself into being the chairman.
I don't have a problem doing that. I mean, I kind of agree with her a little bit that we need to make sure we're taking care of our buildings and not dilapidated. We don't have derelict properties.
You do want to get on that, Rudy, just with your carpenter skills, things come up.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I mean, I'm not gonna like meeting to death, you guys. Like, I'm thinking once a quarter, I can compile some information, maybe have you guys walk through the buildings, because I'm not a maintenance guy. I don't know. It might be ugly, but it might not be structurally any problem,
Like you're talking about if you need photo kills on that wall by the bathroom.
Right, and then I need the committee to back me up with Public Works. Because my work orders do not get done on a timely fashion. I need backup. I'm tired of fighting. I'm absolutely tired. Any,
I mean, if they got a meeting to change out, they don't get it done.
I'm talking about pertaining to City Hall.
That's-
If that
that's-
building
that's-
committee,
That's down the list, that they got their stuff in the city that needs to get done first.
it has to be priority at some point.
It will be sometime.
So
when
that
they get
committee-
done. No winner.
That committee could help advocate and help me be appropriate in my requests that are understanding what they all have going on. Because I don't know. So when I ask for something and it's 6 weeks later, is that appropriate or is it not? That would be for the committee to figure out, not me.
Their job is to take care of the city first. And it'll always be that way.
City Hall,
And if City Hall needs some done, it'll happen when they get time. And if it's a winter project, it's gonna be a winter project. It's that simple. If there's meters to put in, if there's things to do, trees to trim, anything like that, streets to patch, anything, that's got priority over painting a wall or whatever, fixing a wire in the City Hall.
well, I'm not gonna work in a rundown shack, so we gotta figure it out. Sorry, guys. It's my workspace all day, every day.
If this is up, the next damn thing I'm gonna tell you to do is put an ad in the paper for a city auditor.
If
I've had
that's,
enough of this.
if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And then we need to move forward with that. Like
Who's
you
got the
got,
blocked alley?
so who's on the building committee?
Rudy and Jeremy.
Rudy and Jeremy. We'll schedule a time to meet sometime the end of October, if that's okay.
Who's the citizen of the blocked alley?
That is, it's under old business, so that's pertaining to what we've already talked about, Alan Howard. That was just letting you guys know that I have letters.
Walters.
Well, that pertains, and we have the alley major tonight, but all that other stuff's on it too, so that's taken care of. Anybody else have any old business?
All the fences, the box on that line.
Yeah, it looks like right down.
I didn't go back and look. Who's Hank?
Walter's propane tank is on the other side.
Oh, it's his?
Yeah,
They'll have to move that too.
That's on the opposite side.
it's on the west side of the fence.
On the city.
city side.
And, it might fit in, you've got so much down the line, it's tough to see, but when you start lining stuff up, it's quite possibly
Well, I
gonna,
don't think it's gonna get any
gonna
better if you don't get on the guy,
Well, let us in, I guess, and we'll go from there.
But I think he's gonna be the one that fights it the most.
You know? It is what it is, but it's gonna happen. Any other old bit? On with time clock plus the application, what's that?
We want to move to a app-based time card system on phones. And I sat through a webinar and had the app shown to me. And it's pretty cool. He knocked down the price significant. So he's gonna give it to us for $5.50 per employee per month. And then there's a programming fee of $510. And that is also, of course, these companies, they have wiggle room in their rates, but this is 70% less than what he had originally quoted me.
What's the problem with our system right now? Is it too hard to figure out how many hours? they
I
put in?
don't get time cards, first of all, and when I get them, they're wrong. And we're having some issues, at least in my opinion, questioning if employees are
Well,
truthful.
if we go back to the old system, when I was there, we wrote down there how many hours, and it was the city superintendent's job to make sure everything was kosher and right, so nobody's screwing around with their time cards or anything.
So who's the city superintendent?
Pardon?
Who's the city superintendent?
Well, he's the head guy of the public works. He'd be the one.
That's not going to work.
What?
Ask Scott why that's not going to work.
Why?
It was pretty damn simple, if you ask me.
You've been advocating for an app-based time clock, so you tell him why.
You brought this up to us and I
Yes.
said I'd be fine with it.
Yes, I did, but you,
Well, what does this do anyway? You just punch in on your phone? Yes. So how do you know they're at work if they're doing that?
Yeah, I don't understand that part.
it's GPS.
Who's gonna check all that?
High tech,
I do.
that's pretty some high tech crap. You're messing with that.
It's really not that high tech.
It worked out from 17.
somebody got cheated on
10th Street, but.
That's good. That's my company runs. Everything's off the phone. Every time you do it, the GPS.
Thank you, Derek. The world is going more app-based. Time cards are,
I mean, 3 people.
well,
What are you doing us down?
I don't know that it's ever down.
Oh, they've tried this at the hog barns. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Legacy has this app.
Same company?
Legacy has this one and they're very happy with it. What happens is if you forget to punch in, you can punch in late and then send a notification and it goes right to my email or whatever. And then I can override it at that point. What has been reported to me, I guess I'm just going to be the one to air everything right now, is what's been reported to me is there's been concern about the time card being messed with because there is a key in the time card machine that the employees have access to,
It's not there anymore.
as in the last week. 2 weeks. So there's been concern about the legitimacy of the time card, first of all. That's not why we're doing this, but that is a concern. So that is what many companies have went towards. It also prevents the physical time cards, which we'll get to in a little bit here. It prevents the delay of the physical time cards because I have access to the information in the here and now. So I'm not waiting for payroll information. Therefore, payroll would have no reason to be delayed. It's very accurate. It calculates to the minute. So the room for error, for human error, is a lot less. It's GPS locationed, not that we would check it all the time, but you could spot check that if you had a concern. There's many.
If they have the app on their phone, you can check and see where Scott's at all times.
No, that's not how it works. When they clock in, it's GPS, and when they clock out, it's GPS. If you want to geo map them, that's a whole different module at a different price, and I don't think that's what we're interested in. We're interested in understanding when they're clocking in and when they're clocking out and where. And this would be applicable not just to the road guys, but for me and Kathy too. It would help with any workman's comp claims, anything like that. It would help with insurance issues. If there was a claim and somebody's wondering if they were clocked in at this time, there would be no question. It would also be applicable for the library staff. So that's why you have 6 units there. The 3 public works guys, the 2 office ladies, and 1 library employee.
Will we get reimbursed from the library then?
I suppose we could code it to their mills, yeah. It's something that there's been a lot of conversation within the employees about it. A lot of sectors are going this route. It alleviates a lot of problems.
An employee, we found out our company, we did the paper time cards, and we just did 8 to 5. Man, had a 20-minute dinner, we always wrote down 8 hours, and they found out something out. I don't know, they figured somebody's getting cheated, or somebody said that they were getting cheated, but anyway, they come down and found out. It is the true clock.
It's a true, accurate reflection.
See, punch out at noon and back in.
Yep.
It's also a way that you can track time off, sick time. Employees have access to it all the time.
Did they write in there and put in for time off
Mhm.
through this app? Yeah, that's why I do it. I go in and I put in my time off.
If we go this route,
Put it on the calendar, so she sees it, she knows it.
Scott would no longer be certifying the time cards. I would be, which in some ways is a problem, because if someone punches in, I don't know if they're working or not. So if we go this way, I would absolutely need work schedules from Scott.
Yeah, you're not there all the time to see that.
No, that's why I would need work schedules from Scott. He would have his guys scheduled, so I would know who's off, who's supposed to be off that day, who's on call, so that I know if someone clocks in and on call, it would be approved.
What about somebody working on a Saturday or?
They would clock in on their phone, no different. I wouldn't see it on my phone, but it would go to my email and I would see it Monday. If we do not do this, there's some significant things that absolutely have to change.
It's a setup fee for the $510. What's that for?
That is, we tell them what we want. We tell them how many employees, how detailed we want them to have it. They personalize it. There's modules that you can have. You can have it as simple or as complicated as you want. So the $510 is like a guesstimation of specialization and setup.
And they would set it up on all their phones.
No, they set it up on their side, and then when it's ready, they tell us, and then we download the app. But they would work with me to figure out what we want in there.
That one, it costs $33 a month.
the employee, yeah, when it's all said and done and the setup is done and we're using it, it's $33 a month. It's,
Do you need it on yours being salaried?
I should have it on mine because for insurance purposes, I need to be logged in.
And even if you're salary. It's fine. I'm salary too, and I still.
If we decide not to do this, we need to change around some employee operations and payroll operations.
What's that?
In my opinion, there's fraud.
Hmm?
In my opinion, there's time card fraud.
I was just gonna stop it. Punch in, you don't, doesn't mean you're going to work, you can.
They gotta be at. Well, the shop.
Well, you drive by and punch in and.
I mean, that could happen, yes. But how is that any different than right now? Somebody turns a key on a time clock, changes the time, and then goes somewhere else. Or better yet, doesn't punch in at all and writes in the time.
So that's what I said, you ain't gaining.
You're gaining a lot because it's time stamped when they clock in. And if they want to get paid, they're going to have to let me know if they forget to punch in. Because I'm not going to pay anybody for time that isn't run through this app.
You know about somebody screwing with the time clock here in our.
I have heard reports, but I do not know
Well,
that for
should have been
sure.
Brought to the council, and these people should be
Who-
brought forward.
Who's
There's-
reporting it and who's doing it?
You gotta know that,
There was no proof of it.
huh?
There was no proof of it. That's why I didn't give anything. It's a concern, but I haven't seen it.
With who?
Mike brought it up to me about Bruce. That he said he saw him rewind.
Where is
the
Mike?
time.
He was supposed to be here tonight.
He's working the dump.
Is he coming yet? Don't come. He had told me when he changed my meter out the other day that he was gonna come tonight, so. Let's get him in here. That's the close at 8 or
Yep.
have him stop. Let's just move on to the water bill here until he gets here. Ooh, stop.
Okay, so these bills, they look high, but let me kind of explain. Several of these don't live here anymore. They skipped town on their bills. So Christy Yoder, she still owns property here, but she doesn't live here and she has a significant bill with us. We've already cut services. The same with Alex Bercier, the same with Gus Garcia. Emily Johnson and Jason Schimmelfinnig. Emily owned property, but the bank repossessed it. So this debt kind of happened in the interim where Emily still owned it, but now she doesn't. So,
Well, first years, nobody's lived in that house for like.
Her dad's gonna probably have to take that.
Right.
He's taking over that house,
yeah,
you know.
they just left.
He's
I don't-
living in there?
Well, he's over.
They had somebody
Got
else
all
in there
tore
for that. I
apart,
don't remember
all
who.
the sheetrock off.
Sister.
Inside?
Yeah,
In
I
which
got
house?
shot.
Overseers.
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about that. I just know that,
Somebody else up in there.
On the south side of the school, Alex.
It's on second.
Right across the street from,
About 602
uh,
or so.
Mark.
Jason Schimmelfinnig, was, he had a place in the, in the-
Alex Bercier, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about. You're talking about.
Christie.
Yoder. Yeah.
Can we give out addresses here?
we could.
Alex-
I just don't have it on
he's
this
lived
chart.
Barnes for years, like 7, 8 years. And his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Schimmelfinnig lived in Arrow Court and he packed up and left me a forwarding address and hasn't paid his bill. So, and then Mary Wright, we shut off her water, and I don't know if she lives there or doesn't live there or what.
You know,
Where's
people-
her address?
Mary is on First Street there.
Well, she still lives.
Does she? She doesn't have water. She hasn't had water for several months.
That's Tracy got it.
So
That's a golden dog.
Yeah.
the two options that we have,
Thanks for Jasper.
A lot of these are gone. Guys are gone.
the two options that we have is I can either leverage their taxes, which as you can see, several of them have not paid their taxes. So we can stick it on taxes and risk not getting our money and getting it back anyway. Or I can send them to collections and forfeit 40% of what,
I'd be better off doing collections than taxes if they're not paying their taxes. Probably it's gonna revert back. Yeah.
at least if it's,
Somebody's paid up.
Christy Yoder is paid up, and same with
Alex.
Bercier. I don't know if they will pay this year or not since they're not here. I don't know. It's kind of a gamble, but I have to pick one or the other. I can't like dangle it and then dangle it the other way. I have to pick.
Have you tried contacting any of them? Or
Yes, they've all been mailed monthly bills since their last payments.
Any of them returned?
So I'm asking what you guys want to do, if you want to submit to taxes or attempt collections. The thing about collections is it's soft collections. So if we want to get the courts involved, that's more money than the 40%. So they just like hound them and hound them and hound them. It will hurt their credit, but we have no legal right to any of their money unless we go through litigation.
Mary Wright's water's off, right?
It should be. I asked you to turn it off several months ago.
Shut it off. Can't remember if anyone turned it back on.
No, she hasn't paid, so it doesn't get turned on.
It's
That's first there.
Siberian Husky.
Paige Sullivan's husband, the one that owned the restaurant. I had offered to Emily and Jason, since they don't own the property anymore. I sent them letters stating, or not, I didn't send them, I called them saying if they paid off what they used, I would take off the late fees if they paid up by August, and they did not.
Is this all or none? Some we can't tax, some we can't.
I guess we could.
I guess I never had any problem because I just shut their water off.
That's what,
They're gone though. They don't care. You know,
Uh,
their water's off,
But all these people are gone.
except Mary Wright.
apparently we gotta start shutting off sooner. We can't let it get that big guy.
How much of this is laid out? Is
Yeah.
everybody else too?
It's detailed out there.
Cause Jim Army, that's who he was the auditor, and it just, if they didn't pay in 1 month, I went and shut it off.
Well, we have just
And
recently,
they pay instantly.
as you guys know, we have just recently tightened up our payment procedure. So if they are 2 months behind, they get a letter stating they have X number of days to pay. If they don't pay, they get a red tag and they get a few more days. And they are now being shut off before 3 months behind.
And usually when we shut their water off and then they had to pay an extra $25.
We've
And
enacted
believe
that.
me, they paid after that, for that extra 25, they didn't want to pay it.
We've enacted where they have to pay the $50 reconnect fee
Is that
upfront.
what charged now?
Mhm.
How did Mary's get so large?
She has been working with an entity to attempt to help pay her bills. And the last time that we had inquired with them, and so she had been giving us a little money here and there. And we knew that she kind of struggled, so we didn't really, bother her too much. She would come in and pay $100 or whatever. Well, then this last stint, the entity that was helping her said, we can only help you if you pay a copay of X number of dollars. And Mary hung up on that. And so shortly after that, her water got shut off and she hasn't called or attempted to pay or anything.
How long since this water shut off?
2 months.
All kinds of, yeah, that's something, yeah, water somewhere.
I've also just recently gotten rid of her garbage service too. So she won't be having her garbage picked up either.
Anybody gone by, make sure the water shut off.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So there should be no new usage. But it doesn't make the money go away. And as you can see, she hasn't paid in 20 or 21's taxes. So to leverage hers on taxes is probably not.
Actually, that house is owned by me. Dana's house. That Mary's living.
Well, they're not gonna get paid then.
So,
We'll have it back another year.
so if you even put it on the taxes, it ain't gonna
No.
go anywhere. And if you put it to collections, I'm sure she's got collections up to you. So it ain't gonna matter
We're
either.
probably not going to get our money, but at least it,
You know, the last one.
yeah, it keeps them accountable in some way.
Yeah, we're human.
Where? Just on Main Street there, Gus Garcia, right?
On Main Street?
Yeah, just like almost
It's 2 doors down from the
restaurant.
restaurant.
Oh,
They skipped town one day and never paid their bill.
Well, it's for James Page or?
Yeah, he's married to her. They've also been getting a bill mailed to them every month.
She's working for.
Election's about the only way you can go.
Because, yeah, I mean, taxes, the only way, if it reverts back to city, it's gonna come on us, and then whoever buys the lot will end up having to pay the water bill, right? That goes on the taxes.
Mhm.
No,
I have lots of back taxes.
no,
How does that work?
Not if it comes back to us.
Just absorb it?
we did something on that, yeah, but that was years ago. Jim Bondell was having trouble. He rented a house out and they'd take off on him and he'd come up. And I don't remember what we decided at that meeting, that was years ago. And I don't know if you can stick the property owner with it. They didn't do it, but. Ask him and see if he would figure first.
Well, I guess if you put it on their taxes though too, but if they don't pay them, it's gonna revert back anyway, but. Yeah,
that's a
devil is
losing
short.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't win.
And for just to say like. Like for Emily and Jason, those two, I would probably send those two to collections, but these other ones that are larger, maybe those ones go on the taxes. Or other way around.
It says probably only 2 on there you got a chance of getting through taxes. The rest of them you might as well go into collections.
Well, this Christy Walters, that's. And then,
He's gonna pay it. He wants the house.
and if if he owns that house, is he gonna be liable for that? Since he owns it?
That's what he was talking about.
Right, you know, he might,
He's been paying the tax.
So I would put it on the.
yeah, I would put it on his tax.
I would say put that on the tax.
Yeah, we got a better
He
chance.
takes trees along.
So if dad's.
We just gave him a
That's
tax.
how we
break,
get the
didn't we?
tax break.
No, they got voted down, the county voted it down.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Lance told me, I said, it was, so you guys stuck us with that? And we said no, because if he was collecting rent and stuff on there, he should have squawked about it on the time frame. Everybody had the same notice to come up and talk to us about it, and he didn't, so we denied the variance or the
Huh.
application, and they told him, don't bother bringing it because we'll deny your 1 week for last year.
Dawn called me on that. If anybody ever comes and does that again, she said, you need to understand that affects fire department, library, hospital, that affects everything. And so the city would end up being short in all of those areas and have to pay those entities out of our own money.
So the county said no.
Yeah,
County said no.
Okay.
Mhm.
I told him they want to approve the one that he wanted to do. for
Yeah,
the-
he was talking about bringing another one.
Yeah, I think we should throw that on his taxes, so now it's gonna cost him more.
So then we have Mary Wright. What do you guys want to do there?
Collection.
Alex Persier,
Taxes.
Emily Johnson,
Well, that's, if you don't, you're not gonna have taxes, so collection,
Collection, yeah.
and Jason collection. That's collection.
Yep.
So Yoder's its own, going tax effect.
That number's here.
we have a couple that go every year on taxes. It's minimal amounts. You know, it's their $25 a month or whatever. They don't live here, and that goes every year on taxes, like Larry, Larry Weber. His goes to taxes every year. He just this is minimum, whatever. He pays it all the time. But so we have a couple like that that will go. And then what will happen October 1, even anybody that's 2 months and behind on their water bill, I'll cross that off and throw those to taxes as well. We had a couple more on here that the landlord would be stuck with it. Mondell was one. He opted to come in and pay it. His tenant didn't pay and hadn't paid for a long time. And so he had opted just to come in and pay that so it wouldn't go on taxes and whatever.
Is that just recently? Okay, then that's all set. That's what we're doing.
And then there was a couple others that will end up being that way as well.
Yeah, we can't let them get this big.
The hard part about that is the money doesn't go in the accounting the appropriate way. So when we write this off in our accounting software, it goes in a different fund when we get it from taxes. So, I mean, we still get our money.
From the tax one.
There's no way to separate it that way. We just get taxes, you know, so we
So it
can't,
becomes more in general.
yeah.
Can you keep a ledger of how much that you charge taxes and then just take that out of taxes and apply it?
If I knew if they paid, I don't ever
Oh,
know.
okay.
I mean,
I suppose, yeah.
you know, there's really no way to track if Christy Walters paid her overdue account, you know, but okay, that's what I have there.
Development board member.
There are 2 new board members that community development would retain if we approve them. Troy Reams's term is up and Matt Swanson's is up. So the community development board wants to bring on. Am I drawing a blank on their names?
Vanessa Weber.
Yes, Vanessa Weber is one and Cassidy
Archie.
Archie is the other.
Basically, I asked her to put this on because we got a meeting tomorrow. Maybe not voting members. Because if I'm not mistaken, they have to be approved by this council first, right?
No, you can have one that's a non-city, right? Resident.
Vanessa.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah.
At large. And that's the
And she's
term.
been
I'm taking Troy's.
She was on before too.
Troy them one off. I assume.
You have to
You
go
can
off.
have,
They
yeah,
have, I think
They have
it's
the
2
time
years.
left. Okay. Yeah, they've been there 2 terms.
2 years.
Yeah.
It's getting, you see, harder and harder. I don't know if we should start bumping. Terms. Years.
2 years.
Right now it's 2 years, but yeah, I mean, if we bumped it up.
Go to 4 or something.
He's thinking about it.
We need a motion and
Motion to approve Vanessa and Cassie Ritchie to Cando economic development or community development.
motion for a second.
Second.
Second motion made and second then to approve the 2 gals to County Development Board. Community Development Board, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. 4-3 request, who's got a tree?
There's been a couple of different requests on tree removal in the berm and trying to figure out who pays for that. So,
City.
there is,
Are these something you can do?
there's Janet is one. She has tree or berry trees or
Crab apples.
something. Yep.
Oh,
Right by this, it's terrible.
Oh.
It's out in the street and then sidewalks and.
Yeah,
I
those
mean, it's all,
trees.
Oh,
it's a hell of a-
it's not even that big of a tree,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, there's 3 of them.
Oh,
Just horrible. Jimmy Olson's got some by his place too.
Yeah, I don't know how it ever
It
got.
should have never been planted, yeah.
No,
there's one down in that lot. Across from the park too,
Yep.
I think Jim Olson got rid of his, didn't he?
huh?
Jim Olson had one in front of his house,
Oh,
and
did
I
he?
think that disappeared.
No, it did.
Yeah, that's building.
Apple tree out.
Oh,
And then the other one is,
Luke's got-
the landowner, right by the nursing home. He doesn't live here. He said, he has trees to the south side. He's on a corner lot. And so he said those trees are infested with box elder bugs and something else. I don't know what else, but he said it's in the berm. I can't visualize which tree it is.
tell him to come and clean the house up.
That's that guy, okay. The one
Oh,
that-
wait.
He,
So he had, those two trees fall down a couple of years ago that I went and cleaned
Yeah.
up on a weekend for him. He's complaining about the stump I left there. And-
That's his, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're his
he's got to
trees.
take.
I didn't
that
think
out.
there was anything in the berm on that stuff.
No, there's not.
There ain't a berm on the south side of the house, is there?
No,
No,
He needs to be told that those are his problem. There is no berm there.
there's no sidewalk there.
No.
Nope, not on-
So there's just a berm on the one
on
side, on the west side.
West side of the side.
Okay,
and the tree that fell there was his too.
And the tree there is inside the side.
inside the berm. Okay,
So, I mean, everything that's there is his.
Take a
problem.
drive by it, you
okay.
make sure.
Look before you say anything, just so you got it in your own mind if he starts questioning.
He was in today, that's why.
Oh, he was in?
He is in
I
today.
regret cutting that tree for him.
huh?
I regret cutting that tree for
I
him.
bet. I wouldn't have did that.
That's all.
Jeez.
Yeah, because the windows have been open for 2 years.
Yeah,
Oh, that's when you're talking?
yeah,
Yeah.
right across the street in the home.
Right, but you see the tree, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's house comes garage.
Marvin, where go.
Oh, okay.
That was completely remodeled.
That 2 years.
And then you got, what, those 3 crab apples?
Yeah.
That's Janet Reed's.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
You
I'll
do
just
anything
do a
with
work
that
order
one?
for those, or how do you,
We could just take them in the morning.
okay.
That's fine.
We got a few dead ones who should be taken down. One by Jim Olson's, one over there by the Methodist Church. Partially house.
Okay.
That was probably the bigger of all of them.
Isn't that brought up about Lance Tubner's tree that Bruce mutilated?
Yeah, it's been taken care of.
Okay.
It was.
The whole one side of the tree's gone.
No, no, it's not like that. Okay.
Not even close.
That's what he keeps saying. It's like, he went up 20 feet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no.
And it was on that side of the sidewalk. So why did he even do it?
What's that branch?
The branch came out to the sidewalk and we were always told to cut this.
Okay.
No, Lance is exaggerating.
Heavily on that. Looks pretty nice, really.
Get a gaming permit from school. What do you do?
Motion to approve it. or-
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Motion is second. Motion made and seconded to approve the high school gaming permit. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Carried. what the auditor concerned about.
I don't know if this is the appropriate place to talk about this. As we discussed a little earlier, I think that there's some animosity between myself and this council. And I need to know what you guys want from this position.
What do you mean what we want? Basically, I guess what I would say is you got, do the books, and when there's things that come up that we don't know about, you're supposed to do the research and whatnot. And
Not what you've told me before. You told me I have no room and no right to research and
I
everything.
said, if we request it,
Okay, but that's not an auditor. That's a bookkeeper.
well, okay, you're a bookkeeper then.
That's not what I was hired to do.
Well,
That's not my
just
title.
What I don't understand is how everything before went so smooth with anybody else we had here, and now it's nothing but a headache.
That is not what the previous auditor told me. It did not go smooth, and she just got tired of fighting.
Well,
Um,
she never expressed any concerns with anything that I ever got.
Am I a bookkeeper or an auditor?
Well, in some of this, just like when you keep bringing up these buildings and that, you're doing like a heating system there. You're doing the budget. You know what there is there for that kind of stuff.
I'm not doing the budget. You guys do the budget.
Well, you write it out. I mean, you know better than even better than us what there is for money available.
I have begged and pleaded for a future plan. And this council does not give me a future plan. And I respectfully, and I'm attempting to be respectful, I'm the one that's in that building all day. That's my workplace. And if your wives had to work in there, I think you would feel differently. And we are servicing the public. And that's why I asked for a,
Can you make a list of things that you'd like and costs of what some of it, and then bring it to us?
do I have permission to get estimates? Because I was told I don't.
By who?
Raleigh, we're on recording here. Do I need to pull out the recordings from the previous meetings?
Probably depending on what it was. I think we told you to get some estimates and stuff.
I guess that's my concern, is I feel like no matter what I do, I'm not doing the right thing that you guys want. So I'm point blank asking, what do you want from this position? If you want someone to look out for the best interest of the city, the best interest of our assets, which are our properties and our employees, that is what an auditor does. And I am up to the challenge. I have been trained to do that. If you want someone to just write the checks, that is a bookkeeper. That is not the position that I applied for. That is not the position I have trained for and put my blood, sweat, and tears into the last year and a half. And I'm not going to be happy being a bookkeeper. That's not what I gave up a different job for. And that's not what I want to be. I'm here for the long haul. This is my community too. This is where my kids live and grow up. And I care about what happens to City Hall and the community library and the courthouse and Main Street.
So you did set up this committee, so where are we going with this? It just seems like we're.
I had to fight for that committee pretty hard, and I was.
Okay, you got it. I'm missing something. I don't know. This seems like a lot of rambling. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been here that long, but it just seems like we have this committee rolling now. Which, I mean, this is only a few meetings I've been to and it's rolling. What
more to you.
I also do not have the support of the Public Works Department when I do ask for things and when they've been approved by council. And as we heard tonight, City Hall will never be priority.
I didn't say that. I said it won't be jumped on right immediately when you call for something. It's if
A
they.
month later isn't jumping on it immediately.
If they're that busy with the city, they've got to take care of that first.
City Hall is the city too.
What, is there something that's like, what, you guys can have?
We just laid your carpet and we're not carpet layers.
I flat out asked you if you could do the job and you said yes. I flat out asked you.
What else have you been asking to do?
Yeah, that should have never happened, Amanda. That should have been brought to the council about hiring a carpet layer. Listen now, just a minute. If somebody from Devil's Lake could have come here, Harlan Perch could have put that down in one day, and two guys spent countless.
Are you
hours
kidding
on
me
it.
right now?
Huh?
Are you kidding me right
No,
now?
I'm not kidding.
I did bring it to the council
No, you didn't. Not about hiring somebody.
because I asked Scott and he said, yes, we can do the job.
Scott come to me and said he's not comfortable doing it, and I told him not to.
Then he's playing both sides
No.
because he told me
I
he
told
could.
you, I guess if we have to, we can.
No, I asked you if you're
No.
capable.
Anyway, I
said
was
if-
upset about
If we
that.
have to, we can.
And I brought it to council. And that would have been the time for you guys to say, no, put labor on it too. And not one of you suggested that. So now I'm the fall guy for this?
Remember, I think Raleigh did ask you about who's putting it down.
And I said the guys did, because
Right,
I
that's-
asked
that's why we
Scott.
dropped
Well,
it.
that's what, what's there more to say? You said they were doing.
He said they could do it. What do you,
What else have you got needing fixed there that, what have you told these guys to fix there? What other kind of stuff?
there's lights that need to be replaced.
Bulbs, you mean?
I don't know what's wrong with them.
2 bulbs, right?
I don't know. It's dark in there. That's what I know.
Is this in your office?
It's in the library.
It's in the library.
They got LEDs in there. They're the old ones.
It took 2.5 weeks to lay that carpet, and I put myself in a very bad safety issue doing that. We had blocked off the entrance because it was a fall risk. This is why this is why I feel like I don't have support of the Public Works Department either.
Because you throw us under the bus constantly.
I have went to bat for you guys on multiple occasions. And I feel like there is something happening at this table. Somebody's playing two sides. I'm an open book here.
You know,
Yes, I am.
because like saying we're not getting paid till Monday now.
Do I have time cards? I don't have time cards.
They were on my desk all day and you told us.
I don't
you
go
switched
to
it
your desk.
Wednesday. You switched it to Wednesday. You said as long as they're on my desk Wednesday morning.
No, that's not what I said. That is. I'm so mad. I'm going to take a break right now.
That's what we
You
got.
guys get your Public Works
She said
Committee
that
in place.
you had to have them there.
I am incredibly
That's
mad.
not what she told us.
You were supposed to have time cards Monday and she would have them done.
She said, you have time to do them whenever you feel now. That is what I got told.
I was under assumption they were supposed to be there Monday. She
I
would have
guess
them done by Wednesday.
if you don't get the time cards, then you're not gonna get paid. That's the only thing I would want to get them in right away. You know, I don't know if you have hard time doing it or.
No, it's just, they sit there till Wednesday anyways.
Go back now, Mike brought to our attention here that he was Bruce, what Bruce changing the time clock to punch in or something?
Rewinding the time, he said.
There was what, like, I'm not saying for sure he did it. I'm not saying that. The only thing I'm saying is there was a key that was sitting up top.
And obviously if something sits for a while, it's gonna be dusty. For a while. And I told Scott the same thing. I've seen the key turn different ways all the time. And I've seen, you know, like the top, you can just tell like somebody's been turning. Is all I'm saying. And I don't know how to work one. I don't. I don't know how to open the thing.
You've taken the key now?
Yeah, it's gone.
And I just told Scott, I said, would Bruce be changing it if he forgot to clock out? I mean, not saying he's messing with the time or anything. I just told Scott about it. That's all.
Best thing is, like you say, put the key someplace where nobody can get it. Unless you have to get in there for a reason,
I wasn't really worried about it too much.
you know.
I just told Scott, like, hey, you know, the reason why we have to.
Yeah, he's usually there bright and early, I think, isn't he?
Yeah,
You have weekend duty with the Bruce
he had
Saturday.
hours he could make up.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with the time cards being in on Monday or Wednesday? What's the script there?
Well, we used to get paid Monday, then we got it switched to Wednesday. So, cause she doesn't have enough time to do it on Monday.
But again, you were supposed to have your time cards in on Monday.
Okay, that's clarified now, cause
Let's just figure to do that.
It-
That's simple to solve. Just have them in Monday.
That's your duty.
And if you want to
Get
get
them
them
there.
there,
She'll get you paid Wednesday.
if you bear them in Wednesday, then you're not gonna get paid till Friday
No.
or the next week. Monday. What do you?
It has to do with what else is on my workload.
Well, that's what I mean. So who knows when?
Who knows when is right.
Might
That's
be-
not fair.
They already solved it. It's
So,
get
yeah,
them in on,
get them in on Monday, or you might wait.
is that possible, Scott?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, you could wait a whole pay period to get the next one, then, couldn't you? If they go late, you do it the second week then. Or the-
That is a bad solution because that holds up everybody's
Try to get them
payroll.
out as soon as possible.
Like I said, if they get them in by Monday, that should solve everything. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we talked about a month ago.
So just make sure
And
they're done.
that's possible, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
That takes care of that one.
So there's still a concern. We have employees now that will get paid an entire week late. And that causes concern for several employees.
Because of,
The rest of my schedule this week is full. I don't have 2 hours.
oh, you haven't even got them yet.
I don't even have the damn time cards yet.
Okay, I see what
I
you're saying.
talked to her at lunch and told her, I was like, I'll bring them up to you, and she's like, I forgot about them anyways, so.
I could have done them this afternoon. Now, the rest of the week is full. I do not, when you told me I would get them to you, does that mean it's 9 o'clock at night and I still don't have them?
I got caught up in work.
So now we have several innocent employees that don't get paid.
Again, if we go back to that GPS deal, it's done. He doesn't have to worry about the time card.
So how do we fix this now? Because I have quarterlies, which take up a significant amount of time. Tomorrow, my day is incredibly full.
You're gonna have to do your quarterlies.
I don't have time tomorrow.
I say you have to do your quarterlies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't-
You don't have time tomorrow to do a payroll.
Right?
No, yeah, I mean, you don't have, you can't write checks tomorrow, because you're not gonna have time. So
No, and Thursday and Friday, I'm at conference. So that leaves us to Monday. If I get chance to do it after being gone for 3 days for a work conference, maybe I wanted to take a day off on Monday. So now we're looking at a full week that affects me too. My bills, Mike's bills.
Switched it to Wednesday.
That was a
Yes.
one-time delay that you guys knew 3 weeks in
But
advance.
you don't think that affects us at all?
That was communicated and that was a council decision. That's a whole different thing than right now.
Communicate with us, though.
Yes,
We had a discussion, me and you, and I told you I didn't want to, and you just went and brought it.
you as the employee don't get to make that decision. The council did, and the council did, and you had 3 weeks' notice from the time the council decided until it went into effect. 3 weeks' notice is different than this. I'm gonna go overdraft. I don't know who else is gonna go overdraft.
could you have done payroll for the time sheets that you did have? For
No. Quarterly doesn't work that way.
Oh, but I mean for your payroll. For your payroll, could you have done yours and,
No, quarterly doesn't work that way. I have to compute and submit to the state, the federal, and job service quarterly taxes
oh, yeah.
for you guys too. So you guys should have gotten a paycheck today too. So now I have, yeah, you would have gotten paid by 9 a.m. tomorrow, which means I would have had the paychecks for somebody to sign right now. There's a method to the way that I have things, but it takes everybody doing their role. I can't do my role when the other people that are supposed to do their role first. So now we have a significant issue.
If we did this phone thing, how long does that take to get set up and going?
I would have everybody's daily hours each day.
No, I mean, if you ordered it, how long before the guy would get
I
it?
don't know, 3
set up?
weeks, a month? I don't know.
Oh,
It's however long they
So
it
it's not
takes
gonna-
for them.
it ain't gonna happen in a day.
It's not gonna happen in a day or two.
Yeah.
And I have to consult with them. It's hours of my time to set it up with them.
But it simplifies her work and his work. He doesn't have to worry about handing time cards in anymore. She's done. It's done.
But how do we fix this now? So I have a solution, temporary one, causes a lot more work for me later. But I can issue a time card to the employees that have expressed concern for not getting paid without pulling taxes out, just giving them, calculate what I think their hours might be, because I don't know what they are, and give them a check to get them by until Monday or Tuesday of next week. And then they would have to pay the city back with their paycheck when they get it.
There's absolutely no way possible to get these things done tomorrow.
I'd have to reschedule 3 webinars and 2 meetings. And I'm supposed to be planning to get away from my family for a work situation. So no, I'm not willing to arrange that.
Is Doris, has she ever done payroll?
No,
Question is Joni able to come in and step in for?
you guys would have to ask. I'm not willing to give you up any of more of my time unplanned in my work week right now. I'm maxed out. What I can do is Monday, maybe Monday morning. But that's if I get the time cards now. I still don't have them.
Right up there
Right up where?
in my truck.
It could be for the moon. That doesn't mean anything to me. We also have the capability, you could take a picture of the time card and send it to me and give me the physical time card later. I got nothing.
But you still wouldn't get that until Monday,
Not now.
No.
I had time this afternoon. Now I don't.
so.
So are we gonna have these employees hanging on the hook? Or what are we gonna do?
Okay, like when you didn't have them this morning or whenever you needed them by, did you call him and say, get them
I
happy right now? or
had
you're not
several
getting paid?
reminders and there's a calendar reminder on their email, on their calendar. I had verbal conversation with Scott several times and he said that I would have them and I don't.
Yeah, once I said it.
Oh, it just seems pretty childish.
I don't understand how hard it is.
It can't be that hard.
It is not that hard.
But we're not working together, you know. when it
That's my
happens,
concern.
You know, he's not doing his job, you're not doing your job.
No,
Just
no.
butt heads. You're
I
butting
did
heads.
my job.
You
That's
get-
not fair.
You could have called him and just go, hey.
I did.
Did, okay.
You call them today or on Monday? And said that? Or did you?
But we gotta do something to take care of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, either we give them a 3/4 check. You know, so that you still have the ability to pay taxes out. You think that would cover it?
Will that work?
We do a 3/4 check from last.
Oh, just do it this month.
How we would have to do it
Just
is it would
hybrid.
not run through payroll. It would just be run through a regular check like what you guys signed. And I'd have to do a whole bunch of legwork later
How
to
long did it
figure
take
out.
you to do payroll?
Quarterly payroll takes several hours.
Regular payroll.
Regular payroll takes, if you have all the information and you don't have to ask anybody for anything, maybe an hour. Quarterly is a whole different thing.
But if you were to pay everybody, say 3/4 of the salary, and then next week or whenever you get time, you can take the taxes and everything out of it.
It would take about, if I'm gonna pay everybody like that, it would take about 5 extra hours of my time.
Can you just do an hour extra to get their payroll
When?
stuff done for this time,
When?
tomorrow sometime? I mean, all of us know what it's like to work 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day.
She's salary.
We've done it. Like day in, day out for years and years and years.
I'm not willing this time because I'm already giving up my entire weekend for the city of Cando to be at a conference. I'm not willing to arrange tomorrow. I'm not.
What's the easiest way for you to give these guys a little money?
The easiest way is for me to issue some sort of check. I'm gonna say something and I don't mean it exactly how it sounds, but I don't think it's fair to issue everybody a paycheck that way.
Well, we're gonna have to, whether you like it or not, I think.
And then it's gonna cost me a significant chunk of a day and online support with several entities to figure out how to make it all happen and work out correctly. Plus, I still have to do regular payroll.
Didn't you say it'd only take like an extra hour to do regular
No.
payroll?
That's not what I said. I said on a regular day, it would take an extra hour to do payroll. To figure out all this monkey stuff, it would take a good chunk of a day. Because I have to backtrack it and have the paper trail to go along with it. The system doesn't just let me cut checks. It has to be tied with a whole bunch of things. I can't.
So what do you suggest? What, I mean,
That is my suggestion, is to issue some sort of payment, but that this never happen again. And I thought we had talked about this a month ago, that this would never happen again. And here we are. And then I'm the one that looks like the bad guy that has spouses calling me saying, how did you hold my pay? I didn't. I didn't hold your pay. This is not my fault.
but we gotta figure out a solution now.
No.
So I can figure out a payment at some point. It's not going to be by 9 a.m.
Could you give
tomorrow.
each guy $1,000 and just deduct it when the next period comes or next week?
I can
or-
figure out how to do that. Yes.
Wouldn't that be more work
That's
than
it,
just?
isn't that
It's
big?
way more work.
Gee.
But it's easier to cut a
That's
check in the
very
system,
it is.
not payroll. I can just, it's these vouchers. I mean, that would take me no time, and then I'd run them up to Roger to sign. But it's the aftermath of that.
We're just, I mean, you're gonna have to do it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's gonna have to go that way.
I don't know what time tomorrow I can do that. Maybe afternoon. It's not going to be the beginning of the day, though.
Wasn't that gonna take almost as much time as just
No,
doing it?
because payroll is different. Cutting a regular check that's not linked with payroll is so much easier. And it takes literally minutes. But like I said, to backtrack that out and to figure that out is complicated.
Keep the paperwork and paper trail there.
So I can do that. I have more concerns. And this stems from this whole conversation that I know not all of you are understanding where I'm coming from. But I feel like this is another example. There's a bigger problem here, and I'm not sure what it is. If it's me, am I playing a part? Maybe I am. I don't know. But for some reason, we're not all functioning as a team. And I don't know why I have a conversation with somebody not at this table and they tell me something different than when we're right here. That's a problem for me. I'm the same regardless when you talk to me. Sig has seen me upset. I'm the same.
Mhm.
I don't understand why some of these people at this table are not the same. And I kind of feel like we all are battling, and I'm not sure why. Like, don't we have the same goals in place?
Are you comfortable with this job? You think, I mean, you having trouble handling it, or, I mean, we've got to know this. I mean,
I'm uncomfortable with what your guys' mixed expectations of this job is. One day I'm doing a good job, the next day, maybe you should find a different job, is what I'm told at this table. I'm either an auditor or a bookkeeper. You guys have to decide what you want from this job, because I'm not gonna keep waffling. And I don't mean that as like a threat. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm saying I didn't get hired to be a bookkeeper. I got hired to be an auditor. An auditor has these hard conversations.
I've never sat at a board where you spend so much time in drama and irrelevant conversation that this is
Because we
crazy.
don't
This is
have-
crazy to me.
We don't have anybody managing the employees. There's nobody here managing. Employees do whatever they want. And when I bring up things,
Well, it's the first time I've heard about the time card, Scott. I mean, there's an easy solution.
Yeah, we took a deal.
Done.
so who has the key?
Didn't,
It should not be it should be at my office.
why?
Why would any employee have the key?
So we can change the ribbon in there.
If you need the ribbon changed, I can give you the key that day. I don't know any entity that allows their employees to have access to the time card.
Let's just stop a second here and let's go back to that phone app on the thing. What do people think? That would
I'm
solve,
for it. I guess I'm for it. It just solved a lot of stuff. It's
that would
done.
solve a lot of problems here, I guess.
I've been using it for
$33
years.
A month, so, I mean. I don't know, I'm not familiar with it at all, but.
Takes a lot of time off of everybody's hands. I mean, it takes simplifies things. You're paying employees correctly.
And
And there's a
accumulate
guarantee
your time
that you'll,
to do better, I suppose, too, you know.
there's a
It's gonna
guarantee
keep-
that you'll have all this stuff. Nothing's gonna go down from a cloud and you're not gonna have it, you're gonna end up in the same boat we are right now.
I
Where you
mean,
don't have the information. That'll never happen.
Can
I
never say that.
can't,
Exactly.
I mean, I can't guarantee that, but the difference is I would have it every day. I wouldn't be asking for it 2 weeks later.
You can look
I'd
up Friday.
have it every
Got-
day.
Got the information Friday night.
So you can guess on 1 day's pay. You can't guess on 14 days pay, 10 days pay, whatever.
I guess we got it at the farm, but I don't know anything about it. I don't punch in, so. I don't get paid.
Employees out there doing it, yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
That's what yesterday we were actually didn't know if he was working, knocked the shower a little bit and Randy looked it up. Yeah, he punched in at whatever time.
Not working.
So,
Also, one other, and I think it's a plus. No digs to Scott. It takes one more thing off of Scott's plate.
Yeah,
He's
good
struggling.
advice.
He doesn't have enough time. I'm not digging you. I'm empathizing. It's a supervisory duty that he does not do justice to.
What do you- I mean, what do you guys think?
I'd be for it. I mean, I punched the clock for.
I'll make a motion to, what is it, TCI,
PCP.
TCP? Accept that time card.
I guess it's only $30 a month. It's,
You got the initial start, yeah, TCP.
yeah.
To implement that time card.
Very second.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right?
Opposed?
Are you guys okay with that? Alleviate one less thing for you to worry about.
Yeah.
They have to get to her.
All I heard was aye, so motion carried. I guess try and get that up as quick as you can, Amanda. You talk to Amanda. Okay.
I mean, can we just have an honest conversation
We
here?
would, this wouldn't be talking about time cards with this. Shouldn't have to talk about it.
Eventually, right? When we
Once
get
they're
it,
here.
yep, once we get it. With that, I mean, I would need weekly schedules then, so that I would know as it comes in to approve that time. Because I'm not managing those employees.
That should be easy enough. You just.
You know who's working, who's not. All you gotta do is get her the schedule. Get a calendar right down here. Bruce is on for 5 days, or he's off for third Friday and he's working weekends or whatever.
So when we just have to give you the who's on call schedule.
Well, I mean, that depends on
But then
how
you'll
you
get the
guys,
Days off requests.
it
But you-
depends on how you guys divvy up your days. So,
Well, if you're not on call, you work the straight 40. to
Sure.
Friday.
Okay.
you know,
So who's ever on call gets a day off,
Yeah.
whatever that day off
whoever's on
is,
call
I would
gets
need,
Friday off or
Sure.
whatever they choose.
you know, that's what I would need that.
And you guys, you know pretty much a month in advance. on
Yeah,
all
we
that.
got it on our calendar.
Well, yeah, so you just need, she needs a picture of that, so
Once you
something,
got that calendar figured out for, say, October, give it to.
We got the whole year done.
the whole year done.
Yeah.
We'll just get another calendar and fill it out the same and hand it to her.
Just take a picture of the one you have.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a big desk one. that
Oh,
sits on the
well, you
desk
get
in
a
the water
small
plant.
calendar and just write,
Yeah.
write it, who's on.
I mean, to me, that's easy. I don't know why.
Who's ever on call takes
You can
that.
see them okay though?
Hmm?
You see a picture okay like that? No, send a picture every month, you know.
So how do you guys do it for time off requests? Does that go to her? Who's?
I've only ever received one.
This is only took time off so far.
I mean, you take time off, afternoon off or whatever. I mean, you're talking to
Yeah,
me or you're
that-
talking
That's
to whoever you want
time
to,
off,
I mean,
I guess.
but then again, she has to know that, you know, hey, you're clocked out. And she's got to know that you're
I'll
off that
text
afternoon or
people, I'll
whatever.
text people, you know.
Remember, that information has to go to her too.
Yeah.
And if it has that time off ability, that's great. Punch it in,
Yeah.
okay. Shows what you're taking off.
Once
When do
we,
you have to have those things turned into you?
Should
as
be at
soon
least
as,
24 hours. in
yeah, as
advance.
soon as they can. I've only ever seen one. Cause we just started it.
Oh,
And there
Should
really
be at least
hasn't,
24 hours in advance.
yeah.
Yeah.
There really hasn't been any time off because the guys are swamped. I mean, so I want to do a great job at this job, but I kind of feel like maybe some of you aren't pleased with my performance, but my performance review didn't reflect that. So I kind of feel like we're not all on the same page. And I'm an approachable enough person. If I'm doing something wrong, you need to tell me, but then you can't tell me the next week that you want me to do something else. There needs to be a clear direction. And if you guys only want a bookkeeper, you better hire a city supervisor that oversees everything. Because there's a lot that goes in and out of that office. And if you just want a bookkeeper, I will help train somebody else, but I'm not interested in being a bookkeeper. I have skills that are better served in my personal goals. And that's not an ultimatum. Please don't misunderstand me. I have professional goals too. And I also am not a CPA, so I'm not a great bookkeeper in that way either. You guys need to decide what you want. But I've asked several times, and today I'm airing it out on a recorded meeting so that I don't get told a different thing in a different conversation. And our taxpayers have the right to know what positions are asked of from tax-funded positions. So I had feedback tonight that I'm just always stepping out. Is that how this board feels?
We have tell what her job is when she took the job. We have a job description. There you go.
It was very, very loose.
Not really. I don't think there really was one.
I guess maybe we should get together and do one.
Basically, main thing is she knows what her responsibilities are. I mean, she knows like the accounting stuff that which she has to know for being the auditor. She knows that.
It's on the legalities.
And she's the one that makes us, Annette did the same thing. She questioned her stuff a lot of times. Because she would feel like she wasn't being heard and she was told to stay in her spot and not do anything. I remember that. I mean, an auditor's position just isn't a bookkeeper. They are responsible for HR in every other city. They're responsible for all the stuff that I know. It sucks that she's asked to yell about it, but what she's saying is what she's supposed to be doing. she's not a bookkeeper, or she is a bookkeeper, but there's a lot of hats to an auditor. And she's trying to do what she's supposed to be doing as an auditor, but it's a small town, so people don't agree with it, but she's trying to make us a town. Like, it's like, if she were to walk into Devil's Lake and become a city auditor, she'd know everything she has to do. If another auditor came in here, they'd be on the same boat she is. They came from another town. There's certain things that an auditor is responsible for, and she's been doing that. And I mean, I sometimes feel that she gets beat down on a little bit, and I'm not saying that as in picking on anybody, but she gets the brunt of a lot of shit. I think she's done a good job. I mean, I've had people tell me that she does an awesome job. You know, residents of Cando. She was hired as an auditor, not a bookkeeper, and then I trained her as an auditor. I guess that's my opinion. Just being truthful, I think she's gotten beat down quite a bit, and that got beat down quite a bit too, and that's one of the reasons in that the job.
An auditor also works very closely with her board. Very closely. I like you all individually, and I like when you guys pop into my office and you see what's going on. I like that. Sometimes I have time to visit for a minute, sometimes I don't. Sometimes we get interrupted 16 times. But I encourage you all, please stop by. See what our office is. Drive up to Grand Forks this weekend and take in a continuing education class, something. But I can't keep sitting here and having the same conversation. And I can't feel like I don't have support from my board, just like my board can't feel like they have support of the auditor. It needs to be a team. That's what I want. Same with Public Works. I want Public Works and all of us to be a team, not them versus us, whatever. I like these guys. But what is happening? Nobody has each other's back. It's all about what somebody says to somebody else. And then we get to the table where we're supposed to talk about it. And we have what happened here tonight. That's not the organization that I want to be a part of. Backyard deals and people backstabbing each other. We're a team. And the taxpayers deserve a team running their city. I'm in it for the long haul, whether I'm a resident or a paid employee. But my concern is I can't keep doing this. And Scott, I like you a lot. I really like you a lot. But I don't know what's going on between my office and you. If you guys think that I don't understand how busy you are, I understand how busy you are. I don't understand every aspect of your job. But I'm asking for accountability for both of us. Accountability for me to you and vice versa.
All right, let's just try and get stuff done the way it needs to do and get the time cards in on time and get that going and everything else and move on here.
I have another concern. I'm sorry. Mike, I'm gonna bring you into this and you can speak for yourself. Mike told me that he was redirected for being at my office too much. We just recently brought on a full-time employee. There's a lot that goes into that. Benefits, retirement, life insurance, health insurance. A lot of background stuff that takes a little bit of information. Most entities have an orientation day where half the day is paperwork. So who told you that you're spending too much time
I
at my
didn't.
office? And why did you tell him that?
Cause he's up there a lot.
He is not up there that much, and we have a lot of paperwork and stuff that needs to get
What
done.
about before he was a full-time employee?
He wasn't up there that much. There is,
Quite a bit.
I mean, you're talking like more than a couple hours work, or when somebody gets hired, what are they?
there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of back and forth between forms and, oh, we need this signature. Oh, can you double check this? Oh, the taxes changed. There's a whole lot that goes into it. And if you haven't been in the full-time employment sector and you haven't filled out all that paperwork, you don't get to criticize it.
Stuff must have really have changed. over
There's a
the years.
lot that has changed over the years. Absolutely.
Paperwork.
Like, oh,
If you're filling your paperwork out.
how much time do you have to get that stuff all filled out when you hire a new employee? I mean,
Well, it
gotta be done in a day or two?
No.
A month? Or?
No, it all depends. When you're talking part-time versus full-time, there's a whole bunch that changes.
That's why I'm asking, when you hire a full-time employee, how much time do you have to get all this paperwork done? I mean, you don't have to do it in a day or two. I mean, can it be done in a month or 2 months or?
It depends. And when I say that, I mean, when it has to do with your pay stub, so he was hired on, and we've been trying to get things done applicable for this pay period.
Well, what I'm getting at is if you can do what you have to do right away, and then if you get a rainy day, do some more. I mean, just stuff like that, because we know we're as busy as they are.
No, that's not how it works. There's workman's comp, he's got life insurance, he has health insurance, he has dental insurance. We have to figure out what plan he's gonna have. Oh, by the way, our plan changed, so now I have to talk to the salesperson. Whoops, I forgot to get his, I don't know, blood type. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things, and it's fine. But I pull him periodically, or I'll call him and say, can you pop in here for a minute? I need this from you. Or I need a copy of your ID. Or whatever it is. Or I have a question concerning how many dependents you have and what are their birth dates and who do you want for your beneficiary for your life insurance? I need their social security number.
We get it.
Yeah, let's just
Okay,
work it out amongst yourselves. And get
No.
it done and.
no, we're not, because we don't work things out amongst ourselves, apparently.
A lot of whining going on. I'm not used to that. I guess I've been on councils back in the 90s, 2000 with Mark, and I've never heard of such a thing. I don't know what the heck's going on. If you can't handle your job, let us know.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm not whining. There was a complaint that was lodged from an employee. That's not me whining. That's me trying to figure out what's going on.
Well,
That's the type of disrespect that
You
I'm
you
not,
could have just told us that, hey, I need him to do all this paperwork.
I didn't even know it was an issue because Scott didn't tell me about it.
Well, I'm a supervisor. I told him, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be spending so much time at City Hall if you don't need to be there.
So I had a thing that I had arranged. And Mike said, I can't be at City Hall while I'm clocked in.
So evidently, there's a misunderstanding between them. This is getting,
Work it out. That's all I can say is I don't know, there's not an answer here. Just Scott, he's got to do paperwork. He doesn't have to get a
No.
chance for that.
give them the time.
No, and that's fine.
And we talked about that.
I said, if there's not a need to be there.
I don't think it'll take that long.
Agree,
Yeah.
agree, it's done.
Yes, and I think Amanda's agree with that. If you don't need to be there, you don't have to be. But if you got paperwork you got to do, you got
You
to
gotta
get there
pick
and
up
do
work
it.
orders, go there, pick them up.
So let's.
Doing it, he said, she said, and it's just nuts here.
Move on, open committee. Got anything?
Bill Brandt, he was gonna give me a bid on the audit. He hasn't given it to me yet. He just left the farm today, but he's gonna get me that. That's all I had going through.
On the hospital, when they start, do you know if they're gonna have some kind of access road? I mean, so they're not just dragging out on 281. I wonder how they're gonna do that. I mean, are they gonna clean it every day? I know it's gonna be a mess.
Well, who knows if it's even gonna start this year.
I don't know, Rudy.
I was just curious, I wonder the, whoever's in charge up there when this thing starts, is there some other place they could come in there? There probably isn't, is
I
there?
think they can come in behind, like the truck wash and stuff like that.
That's what
drive
I
down
was
that
thinking.
road.
Could you come all the way?
But if it rains, I suppose not, well, they're gonna dig a sewer in all the way down that.
I know,
Then they're having a holding pond, remember?
Yeah,
That's.
but I was curious about that, you know, cause I know it's gonna be a mess.
yes. I don't know.
I guess.
And I don't know when it's gonna start.
Maybe that isn't any of our concern, but,
Dan made it sound like it'd be going in a week, but I just, somebody today said it sounded like it might be several weeks before anything happens, so who knows?
yeah, I know it's they got.
They're having football.
They're having football games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, open committee, Roger, you have any
I mean, I,
financial, got any surprises?
We need to know how to pay more. Moore has submitted a bill for their part so far. I don't remember what it is offhand, but we don't have Army Corps funding. So where do you guys want to pull it from?
More did?
how much is it?
I don't recall offhand. I'd have to look
He
at
said
it.
he was gonna wait till we got our, but he said they weren't gonna bill anything until we got our money back.
There's been a bill submitted.
Gone now, isn't he?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know what the timeline is of us getting that money.
You don't remember a ballpark even what it was?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Let's table it for them. They'll survive. I think everything in the financial looks okay. You, doing trees, what else you got doing, Scott?
Bruce is flushing. Oh, I do have one thing, don't think of it. So the lift station at the lagoon dry pit. The check valve is actually leaking on one. So when that pump kicks in, you can hear it just spraying in there. We pumped it down today and found it. I was showing them what to look for on them. I realized it is bad now, so I called the go to pump control. I gotta figure out how to get down there safely and take a video of it for him to have to bring the stuff up to fix it. Cause they're gonna be doing their inspections here soon. And I thought when they come up to inspect it, they could just fix it then.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it airing out right now. So. But that'll help. It smells.
No.
It's. And well, Bruce is flushing. We're still cutting trees and alleys. And we'll start in the streets again here. Then when we're not doing that, we're gonna start the alleys.
Start graveling out.
Yeah.
Good. I've had a lot of people talk to me about that.
Yeah.
On the potholes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't reach down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look.
Yes, I have it down there.
I bought that and I can't.
Crack ceiling?
That's a-
Yeah, well, that's good early, when they were nice and warm.
Okay.
Good. Y'all wanna pay some bills?
Pay the bill.
For me, is a second.
Second.
Motion made, second, pay the bills, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Anybody got anything else? I did.
I think from now on, it can't be, it's all in place, I think we have an employee meeting, get that out of the way for any come here.
Say that again.
The employee meet, stuff, we should have an employee meeting, can we get sick on that, are we?
Yeah.
If you guys got stuff like this again, I think we should do it before we're gonna come to city council.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everybody.
He's on it too. Yeah, I think you might be.
Yes.
You best be.
Look at your appointments on the face, on the web page.
The,
Probably in my,
I was talking to Troy, leaving there one day now, and he said, what he was told, 4 days are not gonna have another deal like they had last. They're not doing it, and in fact, the Legion, they've already picked the date to have their street dance. And they're not gonna do the parade,
Legion's not going to? Legion isn't going to?
not the parade, no. So whether we have one or not, I don't know, maybe city or what Chamber of Commerce, what does it maybe or something.
Is that something that I have permission to be involved in?
Lining up the parade, you mean?
Like city, community, spirit, whatever, like,
Who doesn't? I thought the chamber used to do that, didn't it? Probably.
chamber is, I mean, it's kind
They
of,
haven't been doing a whole lot
no,
with,
they haven't.
Get burnt out.
since the Legion
Fizzled though.
took stuff over.
I mean, it's something that in most areas, city, chamber, economic development, whatever, they all work together to put on events.
I think you lost all the lines, should be more advertised. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And I don't understand what happened this year. It was the worst one we've ever had for some reason. The parade was, I mean, it was a third of what it normally is. I think, or a fourth for some reason. I thought it should have been bigger.
A lot of stuff going on that weekend.
Well, that was the other thing. It was all around us.
We're passing reunions.
So, what do you want to work on it? Or something?
I would
Try and
like
put
to
You could
figure
get
out
a hold of
how
those
to,
chambers.
yeah, I'd like to coordinate with the chamber to
Go
get
for
some town spirit going.
Go for it.
We had one other thing that I forgot with the financials. Thanks, Roger. People pay with a credit card, and we have 3 bank accounts. Only one is considered a cash account that we take money out of. The other 2 are considered savings accounts. When someone pays with a credit card, it goes into a non-cash account that I can't have access to, and that's Rivera. That's a savings account, but that's, the credit card is linked in with that. So we've had 2 circumstances over the last 2 months that somebody has paid with a credit card that is not a water account. One is the campground charges, and I think the other one was a building permit or something like that. So I need permission to transfer money from one bank account to the other. And so all I want to do is remove $730 from Rivera and put it into First State so that we can actually use that money to pay the bills. So I need a motion to do that since it's not a cash account. I don't think it ever, I think later on, if we see more utilization of credit cards, it might be worth making that account a cash account so that we can liquidate that money. But right now, it's not very often that that happens. So I'd rather just bring it to you guys in the moment. So I have a withdrawal slip for $730, and they would just make a cashier's check to the city of Cando, and I would just transfer it into First State.
You want to make that motion?
Motion to transfer money from River to First State via cashier's check.
Second. Motion made and second to transfer the money. First State, is it? Yep. Yeah. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Carried. Got anything else?
Not at this time.
Didn't mean to say.